Born and good in the house, back with another bang on video. Well, ladies and gentlemen, very important news for you guys. Mauricio Pochettino went for a coffee with Unai Emery after they lost their jobs last season. The North London bosses were sacked within 10 days of each other, but both will be remembered very differently at their respective clubs. Pochettino actually said, before the pandemic, me and Jesus met with Unai for a coffee to talk and share our experiences. We were working in different clubs, we were at the enemy, and people were walking past and saying Unai and Pochettino and Jesus are now sharing a coffee. It was in Cock Foster's in North London. It was very funny. Moving on, this summer transfer window will be Mikel Arteta's first as Arsenal head coach. It's vitally important he and the club get it right. Moving on, talking about Arsenal, Arsenal have joined the race to sign Sporting Lisbon winger Joelson Fernandes. Kia Jurapchian is assisting the player, and this could help him secure a move to the Premier League. Sporting Lisbon want the talented 17-year-old left winger to sign a new deal with a €100 million release clause inserted into his contract. Well, if Arsenal can fetch a good deal for him, and I think that would be really huge. This transfer window would definitely be massive. Moving on, well, Mario Götze won't renew his contract. Borussia Dortmund sporting director Michael Zorc has confirmed. More on this further part of the video. Keep watching till the end. Matteo Guendouzi has had disciplinary issues this season, and he's a potential candidate to be sold to raise money for improving other areas of the squad. William Saliba joins the club after his year on loan back to Saint-Etienne, with him likely to be around the starting 11 from the get-go and possibly anchoring Arsenal's backline for years to come. Canadian international Jonathan David has been watched by Arsenal's scouting team, and with 37 goals in 83 games for Belgium's Gent over the past two seasons, is doubtless of a player of huge potential. Well, talking about potential, Dani Ceballos has been, put up a bigger problem for Arsenal because Dani Ceballos has a £40 million price tag. Arsenal are unlikely to have the spare funds to meet. So it is pretty much clear that Dani Ceballos, his loan deal cannot be extended. So most probably, I think Arsenal will have to part ways from Dani Ceballos after the end of this season. Ainsley Maitland-Niles has fallen out of contention and is likely to move this summer because it's a bigger question. What is his preferred position and where actually he falls in Mikel Arteta's plans? If he does fall, what exactly is his position and what are the strengths that we can actually exploit? So I think that there are no answers to those questions. It's pretty much clear that Mikel Arteta will definitely want to sell him. Moving on, Bukayo Saka has excelled in an overlapping fullback role. Both the club and the player see his future in a more advanced role than just mere playing as a fullback for Arsenal. Arsenal are unlikely to be throwing around the cash that they did last summer, with that window shaping up to be focused on contract extensions, player sales, and player purchases in exactly that order. Well, Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez has confirmed that La Liga will return on June 8th. The league's president Javier Tebas has been desperate to follow the Bundesliga's lead and resume the 2019-2020 season, and with La Liga clubs having stepped up their training this week, now allowed to do so in groups of up to 10, Sanchez has officially given the green light to a June 8th return in a press conference. All 20 teams have 11 games remaining, with Barcelona leading Real Madrid by 2 points, at the top of the table. Moving on, Arsenal target Willian has hinted he will be leaving Chelsea at the end of his current contract, as the Blues are not going to change their offer. The Brazilian signed for the West Londoners in 2013 and is believed to be very much settled with his family in England's capital. He says, "It's a difficult situation. Chelsea offered me 2 years and they are not going to change. I don't know if it will be possible to say. My goal is to continue working and focus on the remainder of the season so that Chelsea can continue winning games. I have a clear head and I'm focused for the rest of the season that we have left. Let's see what happens." Well, moving on, talking big about Tony Pulis and Arsene Wenger's battle, ladies and gentlemen. Well, Tony Pulis says his Stoke side rattled Arsene Wenger so much, the Arsenal boss demanded the FA ban his Potter's actually long throws. The former City chief claims Wenger became completely obsessed with his side, particularly their long throw expert Rory Delap. Wenger also asked for the FA to investigate the grass at Stokes ground, which he claimed was too deliberately grown too long to stop the Gunners' fancy football. Well, the then Arsenal chief also dubbed Stoke a rugby team during their various sparring matches between 2008 and 2013. Pulis says Wenger wanted to ban throw-ins and replace them. He says, we only found Rory Delap could throw the ball like that when the lads had a competition. He picked it up and hurled it to the back post. I remember the first time Wenger called us a rugby team. It was the third time on the bounce we had beaten them at home. Wenger came one year and complained about the grass being too long. He wrote a letter to the FA. The referees and the linesmen had to come and measure the grass. And he says, I did a coaching session with, and Patrick Vieira and Jens Lehmann were there, and Vieira told me, you were the only club Wenger talked about and tried to work on things, but we just couldn't beat you. He said, we turned up for a cup game and we'd worked for 2 days on defending the long throw, and then Rory Delap was sub. Police added, we only found out Rory Delap could throw the ball like that when the lads had a competition, and that is really huge. For me, it's really great to see that, the competition and most importantly, how Arsene Wenger was obsessed with it. Well, Arsenal have 4 home fixtures and 6 away left in the current campaign, which has been suspended due to the coronavirus for now. And with fan safety impossible to guarantee, it is inevitable all 92 Premier League games still to be played will be going ahead behind closed doors. So our Emirates Club said that they will reimburse supporters who have already paid for their seats. Michael Essien, ladies and gentlemen, has admitted he would have loved to have played with Arsenal target Thomas Partey. But here's the biggest news. Borussia Dortmund sporting director Michael Zorc has said about Mario Götze. It's a confirmation that he says, we will part ways with Mario Götze this summer. It was a mutual and respectful decision. Mario is a great man. Well, these were the news of the day. I hope you enjoyed whatever came your way. All the views and news and everything about Arsenal comes on this platform every single day, twice. So what you got to do is subscribe with that bell icon because I'm going to do that. We got 2 videos about Arsenal every single day. Well, I hope we should reach the next target, that is 5,000 subscribers. And if you guys help me out with it, I could reach that as soon as possible. And I hope and I believe that you guys can help me reach there. I will see you in my next video. Until then, cheers, and don't forget to subscribe.